Alright, we've got another reaction here. The weird obsession with dressing kids like adults by the Ukrainian squirrel. Pretty cool name, pretty interesting name. Anyway, we're going in, and yeah, actually I agree. That does very much that is very true. We're gonna see what she's gonna talk about, what she's gonna focus about, right? Because like it may depend or may not depend, right? What she talks about, because we may understand different things from that. But yeah, also please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're going in. We're going in. I'm curious. I'm very curious where this is going.
Have you noticed that children don't look like children anymore? And I don't mean, oh no, children are wearing jeans instead of Victorian nightgowns. I mean,
No. I hope that what she's referring to is that children, particularly little girls, look like they're already adults in a certain profession. Anyway, so right, I worked well, not worked for a year in a school, right? It was a voluntary social year, right? For a year. Makes sense, right? And basically I was just supporting teachers in their classrooms, right? And the way some mothers dressed their daughters is highly questionable. So imagine, right? You're just a teacher, or just a guy like me, right? And you work there. You're supposed to support the teachers, right? So they can do their job better, right? Because there's a lot of students who act out a lot, right? Makes sense, totally fine, right? And then there's a mother who dresses her daughter. How do I put this? I guess the best word term would be revealing. Even though I feel already gross saying that like that, but I think that's that's the best description I can come up with. And that daughter, right? So it's already difficult if you're a dude, but imagine, right? Because you have to look at these students, right? Right? You have to look at your students, right? Eventually, right? You can't just like walk around like that, right? People have eyes. And it is very uncomfortable to look at a little kiddo like that. It is very uncomfortable to be close to a little kiddo like that. It gets worse because even female teachers did not want to look at these, right? They did not want to look at these students because of the way they were dressed. This gets worse if it's in first or second grade. So it can happen, and it very much does, where at least here, in first and still second grade, and very rarely third grade, students will still hug. Yeah, shocking, I know. They bring something that they have done in like kindergarten stuff. They will obviously bring that over and still do that, right? Makes sense. Logical, right? That makes sense. So it gets even worse if they hug you, because that makes it even more damning, and even worse. Like it makes it look even worse. And of course, you don't want that, because that's not obviously not what's happening. But it may give people the idea. Anyway, I hope at least that she's talking about that. If she's not, well, all my little crash out was for nothing. But yeah, even teachers are afraid to get close to these students to avoid allegations of something.
actual toddlers are being dressed like they're 24-year-old influencers. Mini skirts, tiny crop tops, off-shoulder blouses, oversized jeans dragging on the floor, insane sunglasses. Today we need to talk about this bizarre growing trend of parents
I don't really care about like oversized jeans or oversized clothes, like whatever, bro. I don't give a shit. That's just oversized clothes. What I give a shit about is that they're dressing their daughters in a way that is not appropriate for a child.
dressing their kids like miniature adults. It's uncomfortable, it's unsafe.
Like, personally, if you're an adult, I kind of don't care, of course. I do think it's gross if you in public dress yourself revealing. Fair. But for the most part, I will not care. For the most part, even if I don't agree with it, I will not care. Unless it is to the point where it almost becomes like public nuisance like, I think. If that's a term you would use, right? If you're like doing this on purpose to get attention, then obviously that's different. But for the most part, I will not care, even if I don't agree with it. I will not care. Anyway.
And honestly, it's getting creepy.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, I'm gonna straight up say this. This is not how you should dress a child. I'm sorry, but this is just this is just wrong. This is wrong. Right? And we can all see that this is wrong. Because, right? How do I put this? This is incredibly short. That's the first thing. This is a risky outfit. This is just wrong. And filming it is wrong. And you know what's the crazy part? Some of these clips that she takes, right, might be from kiddos, right? It might be from kiddos where this is done on purpose. So creepy dudes and creepy chicks can do something. That's all I'm gonna say. And yes, this has happened on TikTok before. There were even moms selling pictures. Moving on. You get it. You get what I'm trying to say.
Why are we dressing children like adults? Why do we need a 4-year-old to look like she's going to a Miami beach club? Why does a toddler need a bodycon dress, hoop earrings, and an off-shoulder top? There is a huge difference between a child dressing up and a parent styling their kid for content. And we need to talk about the difference because so many of those outfits are not for the child. They're for the parent, they're for the video, they're for the money. A child does not wake up and think, you know what my wardrobe is missing? A neutral toned trench coat. And a tiny Louis Vuitton inspired bag.
Louis Vuitton store.
In my experience, children want color and their favorite cartoon characters. There are entire accounts with millions of followers dedicated solely to kids trying on outfits. The parents are acting like literal puppeteers, treating their living, breathing children like Barbie dolls. Look at this. Look at this outfit. If you block out the face, you would never guess this is a 4-year-old child. This is an outfit a grown woman can wear on her vacation in Vegas. I genuinely despise those accounts because they're built entirely around child exploitation. And it's not just about the clothes, it's the behavior they're forcing on them.
Again, I would not feel safe if I had a daughter. I would not just feel safe uploading this shit. I'll be real. It's just weird. I'm gonna say it's weird. It's odd. I don't know. I would just not feel safe doing that with my kiddo. I swear to God, I wouldn't. It's just off-putting and odd.
Look at these moves. What are those poses? I have never in my life seen.
I want to turn off. This is gross. I want to turn off. What did I do? Now we gotta get through this, no matter what. Why are they doing that? That's weird.
An actual 4-year-old naturally behave like this. They're being coached behind the camera to act like mini influencers. And don't get me started on the audio tracks. Sometimes you see these videos of little kids and the song in the background is about drugs, sex, relationships, being desired, etc.
We need to kill the parents.
Who's the cute boy with the white jacket and the thing?
Yeah, we need to kill the parents.
Accent, like.
I'm gonna translate the lyrics in this video for you since they're not in English. The lyrics are literally, "Oh Kitty, there's no one like you. Everyone wants you. But you're so tired. You like my vibe and you like my alpha nature. Take me away and light up a Marlboro cigarette. And the parents chose that song, they listened to that song and decided, yep, that's totally appropriate and acceptable for my toddler.
Bruh.
No comments. I have no words. Oh, look at
I'm gonna say this. There might be some ill-intent parents that know exactly what their audience will be. That's all I'm gonna say. Those are probably parents that know exactly. And I know for a fact, know exactly what the audience is and who the audience is. That's all I will say. There's parents in there that know that exactly.
this one. The mom is showing off how she dressed her daughter. The outfit looks like it belongs to a college student ready to hit a frat party. But then she shows what her daughter actually chose for herself. A princess dress. And everybody is supposed
You know what the good thing is? My model's blocking these, and honestly, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's just a great fucking thing that my model is blocking this. See? Protect your eyes.
to what? Laugh like, ha ha ha, your daughter doesn't have a style? No, it's just your kid has more sense than you. She dressed herself age appropriately because she is the age she is. She wants sparkles, she wants princesses, she wants unicorns. She wants a dress that spins when she twirls.
You mean about age appropriate? Like a little princess here? Like, this is fine. Like, this one's fine. For home, especially. Like, this is chill, right? But, anyway.
It is hilarious to me how a 5-year-old child has more brains, logic, and reason than her adult parents. Insane. And this? Why does a child who is still drinking baby formula and does not yet have a fully formed balance in her feet need a sparkly luxury bag? What is she putting in there? A spare pacifier and a dirty cheese stick? It's ridiculous. But here's the sad part. This online madness is bleeding into a real life now. 7-year-olds are bullying other 7-year-olds at school for wearing dresses with Disney princesses on them. Because apparently Elsa is very lame now and you're supposed to wear adult neutral colored clothes to a 2nd grade.
The other day, my daughter came home from school. She's 7, and she said that some of the girls at school told her that she's too old to wear a dress with princesses on it. I had just gotten her this like dress at Walmart. It was so cute, and it was like all the princesses, all their faces on a cotton dress. And first of all, it's just really sad that like girls even think they're too old at 7 to wear something like this. Like, why? What was that little girl thinking inside when she shared that with my daughter? Like, does she really think that at 7 she should be over princesses? Like,
we're actively stripping away the joy of childhood. And whenever you point this out, the parents who dress their kids like adults love to turn it back on you. They say, oh, you're the ones making this weird. Baby, you chose a backless dress for your toddler. You thought your kid should be wearing a crop top. You picked a song.
There's something different. See? For example, if a dad picks off his child, right? And people sexualize that. That's weird. That is on you. Or if a dad bathes his daughter, that's on you. Right? If you see something weird in that, right? But if you dress your child this way, that is certainly if somebody dresses that child this way, and people call this out, rightfully so, because this is weird. This is weird. I remember when I was a kiddo, which it wasn't all too long ago, that was not normal. You would have gotten the fucking, like, people would have sent after you the fucking child protective services in school if you ever dared to do that. Nowadays it's normalized, but back then, hell no, bro. They would have decapitated you on the spot.
You picked a pose, you edited the video, you posted it online for strangers. So between the two of us, who is actually strange here, huh? They say predators don't care what kids are wearing. And that is 100% true. Predators do not care. A piece of clothing will not change their twisted minds. Children are never responsible for the way adults.
It does not. So here's the thing. Yes, I agree. However, you're making it not exactly harder for them. You're not exactly making it harder for them. You are not making it hard for them. That is the truth, right? Because they don't have to go out but with the chance of getting hopefully caught, right? They can do this on TikTok. They can watch your daughter on TikTok and do whatever they want with what they're seeing. Do you understand this? I think you don't, but do you comprehend that? Like, does that go into that maybe possibly slightly limited mind of yours? Right? Yes, children aren't fair. Children aren't responsible for that. Obviously, actually, technically, it's the parents' fault in that case, right? But you're making it a lot easier. And arguably, I'm gonna say this might be a hot take. It probably is. But yes, dressing a certain way in public may bring attention to you and may make you a target. That is, unfortunately, I'm going to say this the way it is. I know people will disagree with this, but it will make you, there is a chance it will make you an easier target. Because they can, how do I put this? Find more interesting what they see. Right? You're making it easier for you to become the choice. I know people hate this. I know people say I'm victim blaming. But you probably also become you probably have a higher chance of getting robbed if you flaunt your money. You probably have a higher chance of getting assaulted if you dress a certain way. Does that justify this happening? No. But it does help to prevent. And that's what most important, right? Prevention, right? We always have this argument of like, oh, people who are bad will do it regardless, right? Yeah, true. But I'd rather have you protect yourself. I'd rather have you protect yourself. That is all.
Look at them. Never. But that doesn't answer the question though. The question is, why are parents choosing revealing, adult-coded outfits for their children?
The media they consume. The media they consume. That's my take. The media they consume, right? The artists that they listen to. That is my take.
In the first place. Why do you want to look at your 3-year-old in a bikini? Why is it an aesthetic you are actively chasing? And honestly, what bothers me the most is not even the fact that the outfits look too adult. It's that so many of them don't even look comfortable. You cannot tell me with a straight face that a toddler feels free, comfortable, and unbothered in a stiff pleather jacket or heavy oversized denim. We have literally seen grown-ass adults tripping, stumbling, and fighting for their lives in Zara pants because they were too wide. Grown adults with fully developed motor skills and spatial awareness. Now imagine putting those exact same poorly fitted long-ass clothes on a kid whose coordination is still loading. They're going to trip, they're going to faceplant, they're going to injure themselves. Kids are supposed to run, they're supposed to climb trees, roll in the dirt, and explore this world. Are they just supposed to sit like a decorative rock in?
It's funny that she says this, considering that most of these kids probably spent most of the time in front of a screen. So it's kind of interesting to see that she makes this point, considering that's probably not what the children are doing.
This clothes so they don't, God forbid, ruin the aesthetic? I'm sure that this kid would be so much more comfortable without a need to hold a purse or wear those gigantic plastic glasses. Can we go back to when clothes actually carried a purpose? It should be function over form. Period. When you're a toddler, your main job is staying upright. Small kids literally need their hands completely free, so they can hold onto the safety railing, not occupied by a useless accessory. They're wearing massive blocky sunglasses made out of cheap plastic probably, that restrict their peripheral vision and distract them from, not tripping. You're actively handicapping your kids' motor skills for an Instagram photo. Talk about a piece of clothing that completely fails the function over form test. Strapless tube tops. Personally, I hate wearing tube tops. For me as an adult woman, it's a nightmare. You're constantly pulling it up, adjusting it, and praying to the universe it stays put. If you do any remote physical activity in a tube top, it's gonna end up around your belt line. And if it's not sliding down, it means it's so tight you can't fully inhale. So why on earth is a child wearing one? Adults choose to wear uncomfortable heels, tight dresses, stiff suits, because it's our decision. We trade comfort for fashion, and we take the responsibility for that choice. Kids don't have a say. They're entirely at the mercy of whatever aesthetic their parents are obsessed with. This also highlights a massive double standard when you look at girls' clothes versus boys' clothes. There are a lot of videos online comparing them. Boys get longer shorts, thick fabrics, and big, wide, comfortable t-shirts made for running around. Meanwhile, girls' clothes in the exact same age bracket are shorter, tighter, thinner, and more restrictive.
I'll show you guys something extremely dumb. Look at this.
You want to know why? Demand. If parents, and that's as harsh as it sounds, would choose to not buy these clothes, they'd be gone. But since they're selling, and you can't deny that, because they're offering them, right? If parents were actively choosing shorter clothes, longer clothes, this thing would be solved. But it's not, because it's not what the choice parents make. That's not the choice parents make, and you can say what you want, but that's not the choice parents make, and that's why we end up here. The video here itself is proof, considering what they are letting their daughters wear. Moving on, it's that simple. It really is that simple, actually. It actually gets incredibly simple once you think about it, right? But that is exactly what's happening.
This is a pair of 24-month shorts for my toddler. And this is a pair of size 6 shorts for my 7-year-old daughter. Look at this. Look. Why are they the same size? Why are her shorts so small and tight? Look, they're not even as long as the 2-year-old shorts. Why are these ones so baggy and these ones so small?
I'm at Target. Let me show you something real quick. These are boys' shorts, size 12 months. These are girls, 12 months.
The objectification of girls literally starts in toddlerhood. It reflects in the sizing, it reflects in the weird gendered quotes printed on children's.
We're all being objectified. The question is just how. Women are reduced to their bodies, and men are reduced to what they men are reduced to what they can offer, the resources that they can offer. That is all. How useful they are. We're all being objectified. The question is just in what way. But at the end of the day, we're all, unfortunately, there. The boys also learn from a young age that they need to provide and perform. So there's that. We're not escaping. And this is just as gross. Yeah, it's just gross. There's not really much you can even say. It's just gross. It's just weird.
Clothing. A little boy's shirt says something like Future Explorer or Adventure Awaits. A little girl's shirt says something like Spoiled Rotten. Daddy doesn't allow me to date. And I know some people think it's harmless, it's just a joke. But jokes show us what society thinks is.
It's not. It's not. You can say it is, but it's not. It is not.
Normal. And apparently society thinks that it's okay to talk about little girls in terms of beauty, jealousy, and attention before they can even read what is written on their clothes. And then we have swimsuits. This one is literally driving me insane. Why does a 3-year-old need to wear a 2-piece bikini? It's not even comfortable. It's not even comfortable for me as a grown adult. When I wear a bikini, the top is constantly sliding, the straps are digging into my skin, and my butt is actively eating my panties. And keep in mind, I'm not running around building sandcastles and doing cartwheels on the beach. I'm just laying there like a whale. Kids are usually active. On top of that, baby skin is super sensitive and it needs to be protected from the harsh sun. They should be in a rash guard, not in a micro bikini.
This is an appropriate little girl's swimsuit. This is not. This is insane.
Bro, I'd rather just make my own clothes at this point. I'd rather just make my own clothes at home. Fuck off. That's gross. This is gross. That's weird.
Why do they even make this?
Call me a prude, I guess. Call me old school.
So, weirdos can have access to your children. And don't be afraid. It's just, act like it's just the dudes. Trust me, it's not. There's plenty of women in these comment sections who are also very interested in the way your child looks.
But I'm not gonna lie, I do think this is a crazy top for a baby. Size 12 months. This is the top. I'm trying to hide the tag because I don't want to put the brand on blast, but it's weird, right? Like, what baby?
Actually, put the brand on blast. Actually, put the brand on fucking blast. Blast it. I don't see the issue. Yes, actually do that. What are you on about? Yes, actually do that. What are you on about?
He needs scrunch butt bottoms, and little tiny string bikini tops. I'm so sorry, but like, call me a prude, I guess, but like, this to me is so crazy.
Adults wear tiny bikinis because we want to look snatched, sexy, and tanned. What do any of those adjectives have to do with a toddler?
Huh?
Especially in today's.
Nothing. Yeah, oh wait, is that the house? Yeah, that's the house. That's the one, yeah. It is significantly underestimated, especially, right? The existence of, like, women who are very weird. I think that's the term you use. Very weird. I can't say the word on YouTube because YouTube doesn't like that. But yeah, just recently, well, that was a boy, but it was a 13-year-old boy. So we're not that far away anymore from that age. And I'm sure there are some women that also very much like looking at even younger. Anyway, we can tell. Like, we can tell that one side isn't seen as much, and I think that should also be put into consideration.
World where we see so much injustice and danger towards kids all the time, shouldn't we be fiercely protecting their right to just be kids? When I look at my childhood pictures, I look like a kid. I don't look like a mini influencer. I don't look like an adult. I can't imagine an adult wearing something like that, to be honest. I was very.
If you're like at a costume party, maybe, whatever. I suppose that could be an option. I don't know. Maybe, possibly. I don't know.
Mismatched neon patterns, stuff that looks hideous, but it was comfortable to me. I was just a kid.
I'm assuming also, right, this lady sounds like she still has a Ukrainian accent, so I'm assuming, right, that her parents were probably a little more traditional and conservative about the way she looks. So I'm assuming that comes from that. She cannot compare that to Whatever the Americans are doing. To be fair, Europeans did that as well, like I said. The school incident, diabolical. Never again. Never. If I ever see that again, I'm writing immediately a mail to the parent. I don't give a shit. Even if it gets me in trouble.
That looked like a kid. Sometimes cute, sometimes outfit choices were very questionable. But in my personal opinion, that's how childhood photos should look like. Kids should be allowed to have messy faces, awkward faces, dinosaur faces. Your kids are not your accessories. They're not your content creators. They're not your personal Barbies. They're not your fashion influencers. Let them wear the princess dress. Let them wear the bright dinosaur shirt. Let them wear clothes they can actually climb a tree in. They have a few short years to live without worrying about trends, self-presentation and body image. Kids cannot understand the long-term consequences of being posted publicly to thousands or millions of people. They can't understand digital footprint. They cannot understand monetization. They can't understand crips in their comment section. That is the parents' job. Well, guys, thank you for watching this video. Please leave me a comment. And as usual...
Yep, that's the end of the video. So to summarize, we're basically just sexualizing our kids. And that's unfortunate and terrible. And, I think also these parents should honestly be kind of exploded, but what do I know? Anyway, thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.